Hello and welcome to a Satisfactory video. I took a short 2-year break from making Satisfactory videos, but 1.0 is finally out, so I thought I'd make a general tips video for newer and returning players. I also went through the videos on my channel, and my older videos still have a lot of good info in them. There were a couple that I had to private since the information in them was out of date, like the mods videos. Some of the mods don't work anymore. And I had a creature video, which was, made out of date, I think, like within the next update. So, that's gone too. But anything else on the channel is definitely something that I still stand by in 1.0 world. But enough self-promo, let's get into it. So tip number 1 is that your starter base doesn't have to be pretty. Something that I always do is I just get machines down, set up production lines just on the ground, and worry about getting things on foundations later. You can always break down and rebuild your starter base and incorporate it into something prettier when you have more of the unlocks and cosmetic items from the Awesome Shop. You also don't want to be handcrafting concrete and iron plates just so everything can have a foundation under it. You're going to be, miserable just waiting for everything to craft. You really want to set up that automation early, get a good stockpile of materials, and then you'll be able to build your true base without having to stop every few minutes to handcraft more concrete, because it takes forever to handcraft concrete. You don't want to be spending all your time at the handcrafter, so what's a way to prevent that? Tip number 2. Tip number 2 is to automate early. So the sooner you automate a production line, the sooner it will start banking resources. It's okay to use the crafter every once in a while to, get you over the edge. Also early on, it's helpful to use the crafter because, you don't have a lot of machines set up. But if you find yourself stuck at the crafter all the time, it might be time to add another production line. And like I said, the earlier you set up automation, the more resources will build up over time. So if there's an item that you need a lot of, you can set up automation and then even craft the last couple at the crafter just to get yourself over the line. You also want to get in the habit of organizing your storage. So I'm a big fan of the sushi belt, which kind of means like everything kind of feeds onto one belt and then it goes into like a box or a central storage area. So this is like 4 hours into my 1.0 save. So I have like a box and I have a couple of things automated. I also have like a copper thing over here, and feedback to myself. I could have just belted this over there, or because on a sushi belt, it's going to be multiple things, going in, to 1 or 2 boxes, which is very nice. I even have my concrete over here, and it was like a pain to have to like run between these 2 spots. I should have just like put them all next to each other. But I'll also show you like the more advanced storage room now. This is quite a few more hours into my 1.0 save. And I have this now set up with smart splitters. Now smart splitters, you unlock them in the MAM. Ooh, a hard drive. Ooh, biocoal. I don't know. They're in the, you really just need access to a, like, Caterium node, and once you have that, like, you can use, miners and, like, the portable miners if it's on a, like, piece of rock, to just, get to the smart splitter. The smart splitter itself is pretty cheap. It's only, like, a couple Caterium and then, and an AI limiter. And the configuration starts over here. So all of these I just have as smart splitters. And what you want to do is you want to set the center output as overflow and the left and right outputs as, whatever you want. So this is like my encased beam box. So I have encased beams going in. And then also as a cheap way to, display without having to like futz with the signs, I just, have a little belt coming out like that. If you want to do the signs, I'll probably do the signs eventually. But, this is just a nice quick way. A pre-signs way. This is how we did it in the old days. Something else that we didn't do in the old days was the dimensional depot. So this is a new to 1.0. And it requires immersive spheres, so you can't build infinite of them, which I'm wondering if, like, you know, there might be a better way to do this. I'm only a week in, you know, we'll see. But for those who don't know, the Dimensional Depot, new to 1.0, anything that goes into any Dimensional Depot anywhere, like I have plastic and rubber, you know, which is far away, but it's still going to go in my inventory, will go in, you know, this inventory here. So if you have, you know, everything going in, then you'll, in essence, have access to everything. But again, it does require, you know, the purple circle. That's what Mercer Spheres look like now, and some of the SAM ore. So you would need some of that SAM, you know, to find a SAM ore node in order to do that. But, you know, I have one also, and I can also pull from, you know, the Dimensional Depot. And then I have the unlock where I can get 2 stacks. You unlock these with more Mercer Spheres, but it's managing that Mercer Sphere inventory that will, you know, be a limiting factor here. But yeah, that's how I'm doing my storage room now. Oh shoot! Also, I forgot to mention, if you do this sort of like smart splitter, you know, everything goes through situation, you do want to have a sink at the end, so any excess will, you know, go in here. So anything over like a box worth of materials will go in here. If you want, you know, more materials, just add more boxes. But it's a good passive way to get tickets as well. So the first 2 tips are actually tips that I've said before in other videos, but this is actually a new one. So I'm going to recommend tip number 3, go explore. So with update 1.0, there's even more reasons to explore. And some of the later updates, you know, I think update 7 was a big exploration update. So, you know, the map's a lot improved if you haven't played in a couple years. Mercer Spheres are used for the Dimensional Depot, which I mentioned in the Automate Early section. Summer Sloops are also now used as like super power shards. They can overclock machine. They can like double the output of a machine without needing more input, which is crazy. You know, it's gonna be crazy for like N-tier stuff. And it'll augment your power supply. Animal parts can be used for sync tickets, and animal parts combined with health pickups can be used to make inhalers. And also while you're exploring, if you set up automation, resources will start stacking up at your base. So instead of just waiting around for something to finish up, go on a little adventure, let those resources stack up. The radar technology will also help you identify if you got all the items in a particular region, so you can narrow down where you need to look. So tip number 4, finally a building tip. Is to give yourself more space than you think. So tragically in this base that I'm doing for 1.0, I'm not gonna move it because maybe I'll move it, I don't know. I put so much work into it, I just don't want to move it. As you can see, there's this big arch that's like above my base, so, you know, just when you're placing a building or setting up a building, just be mindful of things that might be above. You know, also, and more generally, I've done this a bunch where like I'll do a calculation, I'll say, okay, I need this many machines for this line, it's chill, whatever. And then when the setup's complete, I missed a machine, or like, you know, missed a decimal point, or need twice as many machines. That I do for like a lot for some reason. So just make sure you're using more space than you think that you will need, because you will need more space. It's always better to have more space than less space. Final tip I have is that this is a chill game. So you just want to make sure that you're playing in the manner in which you will gain the most enjoyment. If you're someone who wants to build spaghetti mess, build spaghetti mess. If you're someone who wants to build something more aesthetically pleasing, definitely do that. What Satisfactory allows you to do is play the way that you want to play. The objectives are, you know, pretty simple. It's just like, make these materials in any way possible. If you want to stand at the handcrafter for 100 hours, if that's what makes you happy, that's what makes you happy. And I know that was like a bit of a like hokey general one, but I don't know. I would also argue that, you know, the whole bit about the storage room, like that's, you know, that's like an extra one. So, you know, but then I had already numbered the other ones. So, you know, I don't know. It's the ruse. YouTube loves a numbered list. I'm going to give a numbered list, even though I just totally butcher it. Sorry about that. I also made a video, so now I'm gonna get back into the self-promotion. I did also make a video about ways to play, and I do think that still holds up if you're interested. So I thought I'd just finish off the video with going through some of the old videos and recommending which ones hold up. Like I said, there were some that I privated, but anything else I still stand by. I have a video on how to set up production lines if you're struggling with that, and how to use one of the calculators. I have another on how to set up and plan bases. That's still, pretty accurate. I might, some of the recipes might have changed, but the general ideas are pretty good. Another is the secret controls. All those secret controls are still in the game, but I probably should make an update since there are even more better secret controls, so I might swap that out. Update 1.0, it's out, it's hot, it's cool. Thank you all for watching. It's so nice to have new fun things to look forward to. I'm only at I only just got to manufacturers, so maybe in the next couple weeks I'll upload a couple more videos. Like I mentioned, I might want to redo the controls video since that was originally pretty well received. So yeah, thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time, because there will be a next time.